Welcome to Because We Love You. Super excited about this week. We are talking about having fun.
Yes, fun. And Stacy,
Let me
you
guess.
know what song?
It reminds you of a
sing?
song.
Yes, it reminds me of a song. Girls just wanna have fun. Yeah. Girls just wanna have fun. Just wanna.
They just wanna. They just
You
wanna
were
have
supposed
fun.
to catch on.
I can't do it.
You can. Girls and boys just want to have fun.
Yes, we all want to have fun. Humans want to have fun.
I think we want to, but do we? So, Stacy, when is the last time that you had fun with a capital F?
That's a fun question. Okay, this is what comes to mind immediately. A few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, we went out with a group of girls for a friend's birthday, and we went to a fancy dinner at a steakhouse and drank champagne and ate delicious steaks and sweet potato casserole.
It was crunchy and sweet.
We went back and we ate brownies and ice cream, and I just remember a moment of we were in the kitchen, lights down, 90s music blaring, dancing like crazy, and just giggling and laughing and having the best time. And that was so fun.
That was really fun. That was a moment for me too. But my my big awe moment. We've talked about this before. The awe moment was actually in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Coming to your house to get ready to dance in the kitchen. But just singing all these fun songs and being stuffed in a car, and particularly your husband being our driver. And just, I think I gave him like a bilateral wet willy. And those are always fun times for me.
Bilateral wet willy. Now that's a good time for anyone who needs something fun today. That's our advice. Hashtag bilateral wet willy.
If you haven't had one, I can supply
Today's the day. Just
I can supply your bilateral wet willy. Yes, so fun. So I think that like a lot of times we think that fun and play is only for kids. Right?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we associate fun with childhood and play with childhood. It's a thing that kids do. And there's a lot of evidence for that. Human children especially have a long childhood, and that's great in terms of preparation for adulthood, and it's valuable for them. You know, the research shows that kids can operate at a higher level of learning. Their cognitive functioning is higher when they're in a play state. So you may notice for the parents out there that maybe your kids can do things when they're playing that they cannot do if you kind of just ask them outright. And so it's definitely a helpful environment, very good for development.
I think that what comes to mind is like sometimes you'll like hear your kid in another room like singing or to the top of their lungs or dancing, and you like catch it and you're like, wow, that was really good, or wow, they were really are breaking it down. And then you get them like on stage or in front of people, and it's like, I can't even move and
totally
I do not know how to sing. I think like that playfulness comes confidence and
freedom,
just this relax and that there's no guidelines. It's cool.
Sure.
I mean, the American Academy of Family Physicians even like supports play. They said, this quote says, play is not frivolous. It enhances brain structures, promotes executive function, which allows you to pursue goals and ignore distractions. And when I'm having like physicals with kids, we actually like, how much playtime are they getting?
Right.
You know, how much free time? And we recommend 1 to 2 hours a day of just no expectations, just go and have fun.
Yeah, and I think the key thing there is that time should be free play, because I think a lot of parents, you hear like, oh, well, my kid plays baseball every day. But I think things like organized sports and anything that has that kind of structure and adult guidance just doesn't count. Like, I think it's just so important for kids to have free play where it's unstructured, no one's guiding it. They have that social connection maybe with friends, they're exploring, they're being creative, they might be getting bored. I think all of that's just so good for them.
I think that's a key, is that they might be getting bored. And how many times have you heard your kid, I'm so bored?
Right.
Zaya doesn't say bored yet. He says, I'm so boring.
I'm so boring.
So whenever he's bored, he's like, I'm so boring. And I'm like, it's good to be boring sometimes. It's good to be bored. What can we do? And that's when the forts are made. And that's when some of the craziest memories are made. And that's when our brain gets creative. And I think that whenever there's something not laid out in front of us, is that not when we devise plans and
For sure.
the cushions come off the couch and
Yeah, all the fun things. But like you said before, I think we associate fun and play with childhood, but that's not what we're focused on today, right? I think that's an important part. But today we are talking about having fun as adults. And I was reading this survey for 2016, and they reported that 97%, so almost all adults, say that having fun is important. So we recognize.
So we agree.
Yes, agree and recognize it's important not only for kids, but also for adults. But the reports were that around half of people, only about half, report regularly having fun. And that was from 2016, and I think even with the pandemic,
I thought it would be lower.
Yeah, I think it's lower now. I think through the pandemic and kind of all of those things, we've deprioritized, if that's a word, fun. Like, we don't focus on that as much. We're just kind of focusing on getting through and staying healthy and keeping things together. When we're in survival mode, fun is one of the first things to go out the window. But
exactly,
we need to bring fun back.
So what are some barriers that keep us from having fun? Or what is a barrier that keeps you from having fun, Stacy?
I think it's busyness. It's that we're stressed, we're overscheduled, we always have things to do. My husband and I both work full-time jobs. We are raising kids. We are, of course, involved in service, in church. Our kids are involved in athletics and extracurriculars. And so it just feels like every minute is scheduled and we don't have time for fun.
Yeah. The responsibility of being an adult.
Yeah.
You get 18, you get responsibilities, you get the job, you get the house, you get the yard.
Yep.
And it's like,
and then it's all a lot to take care
of. All of these things, and you keep being fruitful and multiplying. And that's what happens. That's a good one. I don't know that I necessarily struggle with all of. I think I've become better at this.
Yeah.
But it's one that I see a lot in women and men my age. But it's mom and dad guilt.
Yeah.
It's this guilty feeling that I shouldn't be having fun. I shouldn't prioritize this. That I've done this. I've lived my life. I did that in my adolescence, the good old days. And that now it's kind of, it's over. Like, I'm just going to put everything I have into my children and then I will be okay. And then when you actually do have fun, almost feeling like the world may perceive you as being selfish or
definitely had
not
moments.
a good mom or not a good dad.
Yeah, I definitely have moments of feeling that guilt. Like, I shouldn't be doing this for myself. I should be, what could I be doing with my kids instead? And, definitely been around people who make me feel more that way. Like, fun is not for adults. Like, working and producing and caretaking, that's for adults. And I think it's definitely a change in mindset. I think some societies, even in some cultural expectations, kind of guide who's supposed to have fun and when and how. And that's not fun. It's not liberating. It's not free. It feels it feels bad.
I think also, like, viewing it as almost like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't have an outcome. This is not accomplishing anything. Yep. Maybe for more of the task-oriented women and men out there, that you think everything needs a productivity based on productivity. And isn't that the American way? Yeah. It's about how much money you can make. It's about how much output you can give. Right. And that fun doesn't yield that output. So it's like, is it really something that we should be doing?
Yeah. And I think technology is another big one, just the access to technology. When we're spending time just sitting in front of a TV, binging on a Netflix show, like, maybe if we make it a thing and we have a Emily in Paris theme party where we eat macaroons and drink wine and, sure, like, that can be fun. But I think a lot of time just spent in front of a screen to take up time, to waste time, to use as downtime. Not necessarily that those things are always bad, but that's not fun, right? And so I think when we fill up our minutes, our hours, it's so easy to do that when we're scrolling or binging or whatever it is. It just takes up time that we could be doing something fun.
And I think that's more of an awareness thing, because I've seen it with my daughter, and like, if a friend comes over that has a cell phone or whatnot, or an iPad or whatever, sometimes they'll be drawn to just like being on that the whole time. And it's like, I have to make them aware, hey, you're not even, what are you doing?
Right, you're not even interacting with each other.
But then as an adult, that too. Like, we just need to be aware, because I think we would say that trumps. Like, I want to be with this person. I want to do this. But putting the phone in another room just so that you're not tempted.
Yeah, it's so hard.
And because because when you are stuck in a phone and even like TikToking away and whatnot, there's so much engagement to be had that you're missing out on. I just want people to experience all the lavish,
lavish,
like lavish things of life. And I just like, there's a time and place. Like, be on TikTok while you're in the bathroom. Like, that's a great place. Just don't stay in the bathroom for 4 hours. Yeah. But
even 30 minutes, to be clear, seems a little much, but
but I think that's a great place to unwind if you need to. And it might even go into the fun category. But I also think that the unknowns, like sometimes it is hard to engage in fun because there's a little bit of fear of saying yes, because it's like, what's going to happen? Like, what could happen? Is this safe? Is this...
Yeah, I think some personalities, that's easier than others. Like, you really enjoy that. Like, if we were to say, hey, we're going to go do this thing, you have no idea what it is, pack these things, you would find that so exciting and enjoyable.
Let's do a girls trip just like that.
That Stacey, would be fun. Okay.
We're going to do it because we love you girls trip.
I love it.
And we get to do all the planning. You only have to say yes.
Yeah, and you don't know what we're going to do.
Oh my gosh. This just happened in the brain right now.
But some people probably would not view that as fun.
But maybe after this episode, they're going to value it.
Yes.
You are going to value it, and you are going to say, yes, I want to endeavor on this because, oh my goodness, you know.
Yeah.
We're going to be having fun.
So embrace the unknown. But it's a little risky with Jade Breeback.
No, it's like a safe risk. It's like a safer risk. It'll be a controlled.
Okay, controlled.
It'll be like you'll feel like you're almost ready to die, but like, I don't want to die.
Ready to die. Okay.
But you'll just be like on the edge.
Sounds super fun.
Edge of glory. That's another song I just thought of. Okay, get back to the topic. But if we don't, we know why the barriers for fun. But what is fun? What is fun, Dr. Lipowski?
Well, I did a little research. That one quick way to make fun not fun when I say, here's what the research says. But I found this really interesting model by a marketing professor named Dr. Travis Teo. And he says that fun requires two things. Okay. So the first one is hedonic engagement, which essentially means, essentially means you're totally engaged and immersed in something for pure enjoyment. So enjoyment for enjoyment's sake, there's no goal. You're totally in it. You're there. Yes.
Would that be a massage?
Is a great example. Actually, that's one he gave for something that meets that standard. Now, it doesn't fall in the really fun category because it doesn't include the second thing, which is called liberation. And liberation he refers to as this release from internal and external restrictions. So not something that you have to do that's guided by someone else. So just something that involves freedom and liberation. So his example of that, something that's liberating, would be like paying off a student loan, right? Now, that's not fun, but it's liberating. It gives you more freedom. Now you're free from that company. You have more freedom in how you spend your money. There's a little more wiggle room. But in order for something to be truly fun, it has to be both. So both engaging, enjoying, and liberating. So when I think of like that moment we were talking about in the car or in the kitchen where you're dancing and there's no, like, we weren't worried about, taking care of our kids, or there were no time limits. It was a weekend. We didn't have to be up early the next day.
I wasn't worried about my flailing arms.
Yeah. We didn't care. We were just there and singing and dancing, and there was no recording. So I was even singing. Yeah. And that's fun, right? Because it was
liberating. Yes, I was liberated.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that's fun from a nerdy scientific perspective.
I think that sometimes, though, people want to put fun as anything out that we do outside of work. You know? And I'm like, no. We've had plenty of conversations with people. It's like our husbands are always like, you went to the school Christmas party. Yeah. Did you have so much fun? I sat in a
Yeah.
cafeteria.
Right.
And I mean, it was great. It was purposeful. There was
Yeah.
great moments. I didn't have a terrible time, but
Not
there was no
fun.
hedonistic pleasure going on
yeah.
here. And I do not feel liberated.
It's so funny you say that because last night we were together, right, with some of our girlfriends at our kids' Christmas play practice.
Yes.
And I get home and Matt, my husband, is like, so did you have so much fun with all your friends there? I was like, we were fun. We were literally working. Jade was berating the children.
I feel convicted.
I'm just kidding. But I'm like, it wasn't fun. Like we were getting ready for this production that's coming in a few days.
There was There is a clear outcome.
There was a goal.
There is goal, and there was
no
definitely
freedom. There were definitely
leader.
restrictions. Yeah, there was an adult guiding everything. Yeah, so it's just funny that you say that because yes, that was not fun. It was not pleasurable. It was not freeing.
I think a good way, like when I think about playing, being playful and having fun, a good way to look at it is that when you are in the midst of that, you can almost like just take a picture of your face and you'll know.
Oh, yes.
That was just like a great aha moment. And it was a TED Talk by Catherine Price that she started talking about that fun is almost like sunshine. If there was a color, it's just brightness, it's illumination.
Yeah, I love that. She's a journalist and she was talking about how she asked her daughter, what color is fun? And she said that. She said sunshine. Like, how good is that? I think you're right. That perfectly
Is there a song for that too? I'm walking on sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And don't it feel good? Yeah. 3 songs.
This is
this is the fun episode. Well, it's the fun episode.
That's true.
But yeah, so I I want to start, if I feel fun, I'm just going to start taking a picture of my face and be like, I'm fun. And
yeah. And it makes me think of like all these fake set up Instagram situations where we try and make it look like we're having fun all of the time. But when you really look at it,
the faces and
are the kids having fun? No one is having fun. Everyone is sad. That
We've tried to make those pictures
for a picture, and yeah, you just can't capture it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do.
Sometimes fun is hard to capture because when you are having fun, you are in the moment.
Yes,
you're not looking up. No, you almost need a third party
observer.
Paparazzi. that it comes along on trips. I really want some fun pictures of me. Can you capture this?
That makes me think when we were in Nashville. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to say the fair, but I was like, we had fun at the fair, and we did have a paparazzi. What in Nashville?
I was thinking that we took a trip with a bunch of our close friends to Nashville, and when we got back, your husband had a funny post of him taking pictures, and he was like, I was invited as a photographer to Nashville because we just like had him follow us around taking pictures at all the murals.
I'm like, we look cute today, and there were so many cute ways to take pictures in Nashville. I mean, that's like one of the reasons why you go is to take a picture. So okay,
and we were having fun.
One reason why you go places where you're supposed to take pictures and have fun in front of the great pictures. So if we know what it looks like. It looks like sunshine. It looks like illumination. It looks like a fire. Yeah, liberation. It looks like hedonistic pleasure that is very moral and
moral hedonic engagement.
Yes.
Sounds super fun.
Sounds like a bilateral wet willy to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I think we need to know, I think there are 3 things that really kind of incorporate what what fun is. Yeah. So what is one way that we can make fun? Like what is one component?
So one of the
ingredient.
One ingredient, according to our TED Talk friend, Catherine Price, was playfulness. This idea of being in a situation, and we've alluded to this many times, but of having no agenda, just being playful, having no goal, having no agenda, having no restriction. I think that's a big one.
I love that. I love that. And I want to do that more. Like after this episode, I'm like, why don't we just say everybody meet here at 4:00 and we don't know what we're doing.
Don't make plans.
We don't know what we're doing.
Sure you can sleep in. And
but do not have something to do later that night.
Yes.
Because it will go.
That restricts the fun.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
because don't you feel that way sometimes, or
Yeah.
we'll even feel that way. We love to eat La Fiesta after
Yeah.
our podcast. Kind of gives us motivation to keep
Right.
going and doing and keep inspiring you guys. But like when we have these like expectations after that feel like we can't, it's just like,
We don't
this is
enjoy
not
it as
as
much.
fun. This feels
Yeah.
rushed. This
That's right.
doesn't, I can't sip the sweet tea just quite the same way because it doesn't feel the same.
But the one thing that she said related to playfulness that made me think of you was she was talking about playful deviance.
Ooh.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, I did. It was one of my favorite
It's very
parts.
Jade Breeback.
Let's do it.
Playfully deviant is a perfect description for you.
Yes. So whenever that was like presented, I thought of one specific episode that I really liked. And I don't even know if we shared it here, but we've shared it with some of our friends. But we took a small group trip.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be a great idea not to have a pool in the middle of the summer and rent a 3-bedroom house for 28 people. Yeah. All great ideas. Fun ideas.
At the beach, yeah.
No agenda. But we're like, we could do without a pool. We quickly found out we really need a pool.
Yeah.
We need a pool when we go to the beach. It's just kind of like the staples, the itchy sand. The kids are on the beach. I'm itching. And you go into a house without air conditioning. Okay, I'm setting up the picture.
Yeah.
But we needed a pool.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we needed a pool to have fun. But there happened to be a Holiday Inn or some other hotel right as we were walking. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so great. God has provided. And I never thought that people wouldn't just join the fun wagon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, kids. The kids were all about it. I'm like,
you walked in the gate, brought all the kids
we
in,
are
jumped
going
in the
to this pool and we are having fun. Well, I just walk in because I think that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the kids are coming and we're all jumping in. We're taking ownership. We're using their towels. We're saying, hey to people, this is our place. This is our place. And I quickly recognized that all 3 adults that were with me at the pool were like standing there, like
outside the gate.
What? Outside the gate? They're like, no, we can't go in. Jade,
this is against the rules.
This is not fun. This is not fun for me. I do not want to break the rules. We are going to get in trouble. And I'm like, no. We own the place. Like me and Matt.
Yes, my husband also very playfully deviant.
And we were like, this is great.
Yeah.
And so we had to do that for like 3 days before Stacy. I don't think the others ever came along, but Stacy was like, you know what? I love playful deviance, and this is fun. And she
on the
jumps
last
in.
day, I embraced it.
And it was great. It was great. It was like a top moment for me because not only did she say, I'm going to go swim in that pool that I'm not supposed to, that we didn't rent a room for. She's like, I'm going to shower in that pool. I'm going to bring my soap.
Not in the pool. There was an outdoor shower.
That's true. Yeah, not in the pool. But there was an outdoor shower.
In the pool.
And I wanted footage of this so bad because there are literally all the soap suds. I mean, if you've ever taken a shower with Stacy, she like uses a lot of soap.
Okay, can we go back? You literally just said, if you have ever taken a shower with Stacy.
Okay.
To be clear, this is not something that regularly happens.
No, but she uses a lot of Pantene Smooth. And the like.
Not even the shampoo I use, but I love how this is going astray. We're really
But there are so many suds. There are suds everywhere. There are suds on bathing suits. There are suds going down into the beach. And I'm dying laughing because the girl who said, I'm not even going to go in the pool is literally showering all of her stuff off right in the place where she doesn't even own. And I was laughing so hard. It was a great moment and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then she just like succumbed to it and she just like got the warm towels that they
the lazy
provided.
river. We were having the best time.
And the last day it just kicked it off. And I think that's just like sometimes girls just want to have fun. Girls just want to be crazy. Girls just want to break the rules.
At the local Holiday Inn that you didn't pay for. Yeah.
So playful deviance. Don't get arrested because that might be
I
bad.
think that was part of it, right? It was the last day, so maybe part of it was like, if we get in trouble or kicked out, I mean, we're leaving anyway.
Maybe. I don't know, but I'm just so glad you said yes.
So a little bit breaking the rules seems to be fun.
Okay. So we've got that. So playfulness. So incorporate that. If you want to have fun, you got to have a little playfulness and maybe be deviant. And I also think the important part of fun is flow.
Yeah.
Like there has to be kind of that flow. I think that comes with no restrictions, really. Like not setting it up like that. This is what we are doing. This is the area. And losing track of time.
Yeah, it reminds me, right? People say time flies when you're having fun. And I think That's
a
right.
good one.
Because you're in the moment and like you're not restricted by time. You're just having fun and not focused on all the distractions and the responsibilities. Like you're truly in it and present and intentional. And I think all that's so good.
And it's sometimes hard to have, don't know how to quite say this. I mean, that flow sometimes comes and sometimes doesn't.
Right.
And I think it takes it takes a dwell for it sometimes to
yes.
happen. Because when I'm thinking about it, moments like you'll go to a birthday party, and I think if you just leave like right when the cake's blown out, the candles on the cakes are blown out, and you just rush out the door. I think that's like flow happens when the agenda's over and it's like,
just free time.
What are we going to do? And so it reminds me of, we have a couple in our small group that now we fight for the longest linger.
Who can dwell the longest.
I know. It's like, there's a lot of pressure. I'm like, I would. And sometimes there's restrictions. I'm like, I will win. I will always win. But
I don't care if my kids go to bed at 10 o'clock on a school night. We are going to linger and have a good time.
but there's some art in linger. So you want some flow, then maybe stay past when everybody says leave and do the dwell.
Yeah, and something that's kind of keeps coming up that we've been, again, alluding to, the last one that she talked about was connection. And, research shows when we were looking into this week that people, when people report or talk about fun times, it almost always involves other people. And the research is showing that this is true even for introverts. So, you may need more time alone. You may actually enjoy time alone. I think that's something that may be either enjoyable or liberating to some people, but that's not necessarily fun, right? Yeah. And so I think, having people there, but not only that, truly connecting with the other people you are with. So having some type of like shared experience is so vital to fun.
Yeah, it is. I love connection, and that connection's powerful. That is very powerful.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we've been talking about are this idea that fun is a feeling, it's not an activity. So you could do something that you think is not fun. Like, I think a lot of times we're resistant to doing things that we're like, I don't like golfing, so I'm not going to go with you. Yeah. Or I know like one example that we've gone through is like, you're like, I don't really like playing cards, right? But then when we've sat and we played cards with all our friends, it's not the activity. It's just being there and having this shared experience with people that you're connecting with and you care about.
Definitely something to think about when you're so quick to say no. Like that doesn't mean I'm not good at that. I think about that volleyball from like the start of our relationship.
Oh,
you like often were like, I don't like volleyball. I don't really want to do it. And it's honestly like you've said yes so many times, and you're really good now, and it's fun, and you've like adapted, and it was fun, and you kept saying. And I don't think there was ever a moment it was like, this is terrible. You were just like, this is new. So sometimes you don't even know that you might like it. That's another point.
Favorite things in the summer.
But I just want people from all of this. I mean, now we know some research on it. We know some statistics. But we know that we have barriers. We have some guilt that sometimes we play, but this is important. We can live healthier, happier lives. We can live more connected when we have fun. I think that like we can be better, more creative, more inspiring. I think we can be better moms, better dads when we incorporate that.
Employees.
And that we can see, even this week, I had a PA student in the office, and she was like, Jade, I love that, like, I see you still having fun. Like, you're old. I know. She did say I'm old. I was like, what? I'm old? She's like, you're just older and you still just like do fun things. I was actually practicing the All I Want for Christmas Mariah Carey dance in the office while she was, and I was like, come on guys. And she was like, you just have fun and you're old. I'm like, let's make that the new normal.
Yes.
That like
be old, have fun.
Yeah.
We can all do it.
Have fun.
I love that.
I can't wait. I want to hear about some fun experiences.
Yes.
So all of our
we'll
friends
share some fun things.
Yeah.
Let's share some fun things we do this week. And we want to see what you all are doing. So make sure to make time for fun.
Because this is our whole thing.
Yes.
This is feeding your mind, your body, and your soul.
For sure.
All of them. You want to do all three? You want to get her done? You want to eat?
Have fun.
Have fun. And we do all this, Stacy,
because we love you.